Okay, I'm sure most of you are aware that last week, Pete Kegsbreath decided to reclassify religious affiliations for military members, and the list went from 200 to 31, with several of the remaining religious groups being subcategorized as Christian, excluding the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So after public outcry from our members and pushback from Senators Lee and Curtis, they did change the classifications, but instead of listing us as a Christian church, they just removed that subcategorization of Christian entirely. And I'm sure this is satisfying to some people, but I think it just shows the tension that still remains between us and the evangelicals, like Pete Hegseth, who consider us not Christian. And I find this particularly galling coming from a serial adulterer with a Nazi tattoo who was known for showing up to his morning TV host gig drunk. The guy whose Christian nationalist pastor, Doug Wilson, advocates for household voting, where a man votes for his wife. A guy who's also openly and unapologetically racist and homophobic. But sure, let's have that guy, whose faith leader is that guy, decide who is Christian or not and which faith groups are legitimate or not. Personally, I don't think it's the Pentagon's job to decide. In a country where we supposedly believe in freedom of religion, it seems to me that churches can and should be able to self-identify. And I have to say that our church's support of religious freedom seems more important now than ever. I mean, can you imagine being one of the religious groups that were removed entirely? And look, none of this comes as a surprise to those of us who have been paying attention, and also those of us who live outside of Utah or the so-called Book of Mormon belt out west, where church members enjoy a sort of protected status because of their strength in numbers. But as someone who grew up in the Midwest as a religious minority, where I was the only member of my faith in my large graduating class, I experienced religious bigotry on more than one occasion. Not from my Catholic, Jewish, Lutheran, Methodist, or other mainstream Christian friends, almost exclusively evangelicals, same people who are part of the MAGA Christian nationalist base today. And I really do hope that this experience has shown the members of my faith, particularly those who live in Utah and have aligned with and supported MAGA Christian nationalist principles and politicians, that they are not into you. You are not part of their club. You are only acceptable to them as long as you are useful as a loyal voting bloc. That's it. We've tried to be good neighbors and citizens. We have a history of our members being leaders in public service and the military. Our church does an excellent job of building strong interfaith relationships and doing humanitarian work all over the world, regardless of faith, ethnicity, nationality, but it's just never going to be enough for these people. So if you have been loyal to this administration in the past, I hope you will reconsider saving your loyalty for the principles of the gospel of Jesus Christ and the inspired principles in our founding documents, like freedom of religion, and not to any political party or politician.